Hi, happy morning everyone. Welcome to Metier YouTube channel. I hope you're all fine and doing well for your exams. Daily we are seeing 5 important MCQ for the exam of AIIMS, JIPMER as well as RRB. So who are all not subscribed our channel, please kindly subscribe so that we will get motivated. We will upload more questions. Okay, we'll start today's session with a small quote. When you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. ஓகே நீங்கள் படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கும்போது ரொம்ப சோர்வடைகிறீங்க, என்னடா வாழ்க்கை இது போதும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ரொம்ப டயர்ட் ஆகும்போது யூ ஹாவ் டு ரெஸ்ட், நாட் குவிட். ஓகே, சோர்வடையும் போது ரெஸ்ட் எடுக்க கற்றுக்கோங்க, கம்ப்ளீட்டாக ஸ்டாப் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஓகே, வில் ஸ்டார்ட் டுடேஸ் 5 important MCQ. First question. Today we are going to see about basics of ECG. Okay, ECG related some questions. Okay, before entering to that questions, normal values we should know. So heart rate everybody knows this is 60 to 100 beats per minute. PR interval is 0.12 to 0.20 seconds. QRS interval is 0.06 to 0.10 second, just half of the PR interval. You can see it there. Then QT interval less than half of the RR interval. What is RR interval? From one wave of R to another wave of R. That is RR interval. That is 0.36 to 0.44 seconds. That is half of the RR interval. Next is ST segment. That is 0.08 second. From S wave to the T wave, it is 0.08 second. This is a basics. It's a you have to memorize these values. Then only we can correlate and we can read the ECG easily. Okay, we'll start with the first question. When analyzing an ECG strip, the nurse ascertains which of the following measurements are outside of the normal limits. PR interval is 0.16, QRS 0.04, PR interval is 0.302, 30, QRS is 0.06. Next, PR interval is 0.12, QRS is 0.04. Option D, PR interval 0.182, QRS is 0.06. That is not ORS, that is QRS. So, the correct answer is option B. It is 0.30 to 0.06. So if we see in the normal values, no, you can see it here. PR interval is 0.12 to 0.20. QRS interval is 0.06 to 0.10 second. Here the PR interval is very high, 0.30. Okay, that is indicating the abnormal value. What is QRS complex here? What is meant by QRS complex? QRS complex nothing but ventricular depolarization. Okay, ventricular depolarization, and widened QRS complex may suggest conduction of abnormality of the bundle branch block. So when the QRS complex is more than 0.10, more than 0.10, that is indicating an abnormality in the bundle branch block. That is indicating a bundle branch block. Increase the PR interval indicating the delay in the conductions. That is a PR increased PR interval is there is a delay in the conductions. Clear? Yes. Next question. The nurse correlates the QRS complex to the cardiac cycle by the stating. So as I said, the QRS complex represent what? It is option D, ventricular depolarization. Okay, we'll see one by one. Atrial depolarization. The P wave indicating the atrial depolarization. And ventricular repolarization. So QRS, we know that ventricular depolarization is QRS complex. After the QRS complex, this ST and formation of T wave, that is indicating option B, ventricular repolarization. What is repolarization and depolarization? Repolarization is relaxation. Depolarization is contraction. Okay. So the P wave is contraction of the atrium. Atrial depolarization is P wave. Next, after the P wave, there is an atrial repolarization should happen, no? That is option Z. So that is not seen in the ECG. That is otherwise called a TA wave. This atrial repolarization is called a TA wave. That is very, very milliseconds. So that is why it is not able to seen in the ECG. Okay. That is atrial repolarization, relaxation of the atrium after the contraction, after the depolarization. Okay. Next, ventricular depolarization is QRS complex. So ventricle will pump the blood by contraction to the body. Okay. That is QRS complex. After the contraction, there should be relaxation. That is ventricular repolarization. That is indicating the ST segment, T wave. Everything comes under option B. Clear? You should know what is P, what is QRS, what is ST segment. So many exams they have asked regarding this cardiac cycle related to the ECG. Clear? Yes. Next question. Which of the following conditions put a client at risk for developing dysarrhythmia? So please select all that apply. They given COPD, saturation is 95%, 6 sinus syndrome, the serum potassium level is 4.1 milliequivalent per liter. So options are very clear, easily we can identify. So in this option, we can identify that the only two options are abnormal, that is COPD as well as 6 sinus syndrome. Option B and D is the normal value. Saturation 95 is normal. Serum potassium level also normal. So only the COPD and 6 sinus syndrome is abnormal. So what is happening in the COPD? In COPD, there is a conduction system error is happening by what is happening in the chronic COPD? Yes, acidosis happening, right? Metabolic acidosis happening. So that leads to the conduction system is happening. So hypoxia as well as acidosis leads to the electrical conduction system failure. Clear? That is happening in the COPD. In 6 sinus syndrome is what is happening? The sinus node, the natural pacemaker of the heart, does not function properly. That is called the 6 sinus syndrome. That leads to the irregular heart rhythms. Once again, I will explain. In COPD, what is happening? Hypoxia plus acidosis happening. That is why dysarrhythmia is happening. Next, 6 sinus syndrome is nothing but the sinus node, normal natural pacemaker of the heart, is not functioning properly. That leads to the irregular heart rhythms. Clear? So correct options are A, B. That leads to the dysarrhythmias. So next question. Which cardiac arrhythmia is closely related to the patient with untreated sleep apnea? Atrial fibrillation, first degree AV block, second degree AV block, ventricular tachycardia. The correct option is the patient with untreated sleep apnea leads to the atrial fibrillation. You can see the ECG here. This is atrial fibrillation. Fibrillatory waves are there, and the sawtooth pattern is atrial flutter. So don't confuse with this atrial fibrillation and atrial flutter. Okay. So here, according to the scenario and question, untreated sleep apnea related to the atrial fibrillation. This is the most common cause for the many stroke. Okay. Untreated atrial fibrillation leads to the stroke. Okay. Sleep apnea is related to the atrial fibrillation. What is happening? Sleep apnea is a condition where person's breathing repeatedly stops and start during the sleep, leading to the low oxygen levels in the blood. So this can cause the changes in the heart structure and function, that is developing the atrial fibrillation. So the correct option is atrial fibrillation, not first degree AV block, second degree AV block, or ventricular tachycardia. Okay. First degree, second degree related to the your node conduction system, right? Yes. Next question. What is evaluated and classified when determining dysarrhythmias? Here they given this RRB. This is dysarrhythmias only. So option A, waves, segments and intervals on the ECG tracing, rhythm, rate and P wave configuration, PR interval, QRS duration and configuration, none of the above. So the correct option is option A, waves, segments and intervals on the ECG tracing. So as a nurse, we are reading the ECG, we have to see the waveforms, how the waveforms are forming, the segments and the interval, PR interval, RR interval, QRS complex, everything we have to see. So the correct option is A, waves, segments and intervals on the ECG. As a nurse, we have to configure everything. Not only the rhythm, rate and P wave, not only the PR and QRS duration, everything as a nurse, we have to read it in the ECG. Yes, that's all about today's basics of ECG. I hope the class was helpful for you. If you like the class, please hit the like button, and who are not subscribed our channel, please kindly subscribe our channel. Thank you all and all the best.